Hi guys, please bear with me. Well, I work on this whole proper vlogging thing over some time, and with the help of my boyfriend, who is better at this stuff than me, I will definitely be improving the quality of the videos, the lighting, all of that stuff, at least for some of them. So I apologize for my newbie videos and mistakes and lighting issues, etc. So please bear with me as I work towards improving all of those things, because this is all pretty new to me. I just wanted to do kind of a pretty quick, hopefully, vlog on just self-confidence and medications and their side effects, because this is just something that comes up a whole lot. And there's a whole lot to say about it, so I could go on forever, and I'm sure a lot of you could too. So I just want to say that I do talk quite a lot about the drug prednisone, because, you know, anyone with a whole variety of autoimmune diseases or even some temporary illnesses, various chronic illnesses, a lot of people have either taken prednisone at some point in their life or have to be on it frequently or are on it and can't get off of it for various reasons. And it is anyone that has to take it consistently knows it's both our best friend and our worst enemy, our savior, and also, you know, destroys us at the same time. It's really a really complicated thing and drug that we have to deal with. One of my favorite ways I ever describe being on prednisone, specifically, I was talking about weaning on prednisone, was when I once wrote that when I was weaning, I feel like I'm an anchor floating in the ocean, like an impossibility. And that really sums it up for me. It's so hard to describe the massive amount of side effects and feelings, and just, I mean, it's all encompassing really, and overwhelming. And it's different experience for all of us, and it can affect us in dozens of ways. It's a very personal experience. A lot of us have similar symptoms or problems, but a lot of us don't. And some of them are terrifying and awful. Some of us would be dead without it, though. So it's it's a big trade-off. I mean, it's worth it. We don't have a choice. So it's very hard when struggling with side effects to remind myself that it's, you know, also keeping me alive. It's not just about, you know, the bad stuff. You have to focus on the good as well. So, but I could go on forever about the side effects of prednisone and how awful it is, and, you know, why we do need to take it, though. But what I want to talk about right now is in general, the dozens of ways it affects you and your appearance. So if you are already on prednisone, you're fully aware of what I'm talking about. And what I mean. I mean, it can cause swelling, water retention, weird fat deposits, like in the back of your neck, moon face, where your face is going to get really round, and your neck can get you can lose your neck, and it's just all one thing, even if you're not gaining weight. And of course, weight gain is usually a big issue with prednisone. People gain a lot of weight. They can. I've not had that issue because I actually lost 35 pounds on prednisone, but it is because I actually am not hungry. I stop eating when I'm on higher doses of prednisone. And I also have I have IBD and gastroparesis. And because of both of those things, most of the time I can't eat properly and I can't digest solids. So I live off of Ensure a lot or a liquid diet when I'm flaring, or most of the time, because I have not been well. So I've actually had the opposite problem. I've been a little better lately, thankfully. So I've been able to eat a little bit more solid foods and gain a little bit of weight back, because I was under 95 pounds, which was very dangerous. So I am thankfully back up from that. So anyway, But a lot of people gain weight, and it's a very big issue for them. And the thing is, it's not just a female issue, and it's not just a young, old issue either. Like, this affects everybody on the drug, male, female, young, middle-aged, older, elderly. I mean, it affects us all. Our appearance is not all that there is to us, but it's important. And, it's just going to affect us. So the point is, we have to remind ourselves, and it's really hard because prednisone affects you mentally and emotionally as well. So it's hard, but our looks are obviously not as important as our health or surviving through our illnesses and flares. But the thing is, it does affect us, and it does cause insecurities. And it really doesn't matter if you're an insecure person or not, or how vain you are. It does affect you regardless. So, I've just heard a lot in support groups from people on this drug, and it just affects their confidence, and a lot of people are worried about it. I get self-conscious sometimes too about my face, when it's particularly swollen, and it's one of those things. Most people don't even know. I know, people in the world are not aware, but we know ourselves well, so we're conscious of these things. So, the slogan "look better, feel better" is pretty valid, and I get the concept of it, especially in certain situations, like for instance when you've lost your hair and you would like to have a wig. Totally get that. But for anyone specifically in this case with prednisone, or specifically to me, so this might not count for you, but I really think it's about feeling better, thus looking better. To me, when I feel better, be it physically, but also what I'm specifically talking about is mentally, I feel like I look better, because all of a sudden the way I look just improves to me because I'm happier. And that's when I look better to me. Happier. I'm not looking at myself and focusing on the negative, because I'm focusing on the positive. It's so much easier, of course, right? So I think really it's about feeling better, thus looking better. Whether we really look better or not, it's just our perception of it. And my point is that I think it's more important to focus on building confidence, especially when you feel you look your worst. And don't get me wrong, like, I'm not saying that's some easy feat that you can just accomplish just by, thinking it. You don't magically make yourself feel better. You have to actively tell yourself, like in my case, I actively tell myself to knock it off and just not focus on how puffy my eyes are or my face or water retention, and focus on something else instead, something more positive about my appearance or the way I'm feeling or whatever. And just try and find more reasons to laugh. And we really need to remember there's just way more important things than the crappy side effects of these medications and the way that it affects us physically. It's no joke, and it is not fun. And it's one of the really crappy effects of prednisone, especially over time and over years. I mean, it really can damage us in a lot of ways. But I mean, my point is just that your concerns are valid, but I don't want people to ever, neither do doctors, which is why most of them don't tell you a lot of the side effects, because they don't want you to not take the medication. And while I'm not backing up prednisone and saying it's the best drug and everybody should take it, a lot of us need it to survive, and a lot of us would be dead without it. So if you fit into that category of people, then you just need to remind yourself, specifically you, as much as you can, not just how bad this drug is, and not just all the bad things it's doing to you. Because trust me, I know. And yesterday in particular, I was shaking uncontrollably. I had face twitches. I couldn't speak and was slurring my words because I'm changing my dose of prednisone. And at 40, it affects me majorly. And then the next day, once it levels out, I'm functional again. It's brutal. There's no other way to put it. It's brutal. But just remember, it's also keeping you alive. Just focus on the good. And you are beautiful no matter what. And this too shall pass. And happiness is really what makes a person shine. And it outweighs and outshines any of the bad stuff. And, you know, most of that is just in our heads. And the people that love us and most of the people that see us see something totally different than what we see in the mirror. So try to remind yourself you're doing the best you can, and just try to focus on feeling better mentally as opposed to focusing on the bad stuff that it's doing to your body. And just remember, this too shall pass. You can lose the weight, the water retention will go away. The goal is feel better first, and then worry about the rest later. So I just hope that helped a little bit. It is a very small part of prednisone, but it is a very real part of it, and it affects everyone that takes this drug continuously. And so many people do. So many people are on this and on it for life. And it's a big deal. It really affects you, and it's brutal. But you're beautiful no matter what, and it's important for you to just remind yourself of that, and remind yourself that it's worth the bad parts, because the most important thing is that you stay alive and you get better. You get to a place of functioning and thriving a little bit more. That's what's important, and that's what you have to focus on prednisone helping you with, not just the bad stuff it's doing to you.